Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am a usual host, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. This is the final edition of the day, third and final edition of the day. And welcome to all of you. Let me go back to that man, Thapa Dima. Thapa Dima runs a consultancy, a forensics investigation consultancy. It is based somewhere in Midrand, and I think for now that suffices. Kabadima, you'll recall, was one of the investigators in the Senzo Meyiwa murder investigation. So he is on the ground. I'm not just going to use information that I plug out of the air. I'm using information from people who are actually involved. Now, Tapadima is one such person. There are a number of issues that Tapadima raises in my discussions with him about the Senzo Meyiwa trial, which we are going to be taking up and certainly looking into and following. Now, one of the things that Tapadima Forensic Investigations does or has noted in this rather unfortunate investigation of the Senzo Meyiwa thing is that one, the role of General Sibiya. What was General Sibiya doing there? It is not very clear what General Sibiya was doing there. Did General Sibiya provide a statement? General Sibiya has never been a witness in this trial. Just what was his role? We have to define people's roles here. You don't just become part of an investigation without playing a specific role. And Tapadima has said people, of the rank of general and in that area, the senior people like that are never involved in investigations. He has categorically told me that Sibiya had no business being there. The second point that he makes is the role of Chico. Chico Tola is a musician. What was Chico doing there? Chico was one of the first people on the scene. Don't understand why Chico is not a policeman. Chico is not he's not in the medical fraternity. What was he doing there? Given that his son Longo was there, and there's a narrative that says the gun came from Longo. What was he doing here? What was his role? Who called him and why? You know, and why called Chico? What was he doing there? The third thing is Kelly's cell phone. Why was Kelly's Kumalo cell phone not confiscated there and there for investigation purposes? These are some of the things that Tapadima, raises. As an investigator, remember the man has got the expertise in what he's doing. And he probably knows these investigative issues more than I do. You see, I'm an advocate. The man is a hands-on forensics investigator. So he knows what he's doing. He says, why was Kelly's cell phone never seized for purposes of analysis? Right? He also goes on to say, in terms of a process that goes under section 205 of the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Act. In terms of section 205 of the law, the Criminal Procedure Act governs the way criminal cases, trials, and so on are conducted in South Africa. So section 205 governs also the subpoena of certain evidence, which is crucial in the investigation of any crime that has occurred. So one of the things that Tabadima raises is, why was Chico's cell phone not subpoenaed in terms of Section 205, so that an analysis of Chico's cell phone could then be made to say who did he call, when, and so on. There had to be a need for a 205 subpoena to look into the call that Chico made, before the incident, the call that Chico made even after the incident, and who was he calling and so on. because you see the whole presence of Chico there is very doubtful. The same applies to, the cell phone of Sibiya. Sibiya's cell phone, Tapadima says, should have been subpoenaed in terms of 205. Don't worry about this subpoena word thing. This subpoena thing, it should have been called up, right, for examination, right, for evidence purposes, to say who did Sibiya call, when, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things which he says, should have been done by investigators on the ground, which were not done. Now, this I said coming from an investigator is very explosive. So these are some of the omissions that we see in the Meyiwa investigation. And they've got consequences for the administration of justice. If these things are not done according to Tapadima, then an investigation is not being conducted properly. This is why when the police get there, they immediately sold a narrative. Police just don't work on narratives. They should have listened to that narrative that, well, they were intruders. Fine. But they should also focus on the people in the house, right? Chase after the intruders, but don't forget about the people in the house. But in this investigation, you just see them being sold a story that there were intruders in the house, and they run after the intruders and never find the intruders, and nothing is ever said about the people in the house, right? An investigation should have been conducted, a thorough police investigation should have been conducted with regard to the people inside the house also. They were part of the crime scene, right? So it is unfortunate that the police acted in this manner. But I think there was an agenda. You see, they do not just act by mistake. So something is at play here. Something is at play here. Somebody was trying to hide something. And this is what me and Tapadima, forensic investigation consultants, will be looking into. And like I said earlier on in my earlier editions, we'll be looking into these things very closely. And I'm glad I've got a man like Tapadima. How many of them out there, I don't know. I might get more Tapadimas, and the team will get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Having said that, I hope you had a good weekend. We are now coming to the end of the weekend. I wish all my subscribers a wonderful week, forthcoming week. And I sincerely hope you had a good weekend. And let us look forward with strength and vigor to the coming week. Please subscribe. Please recommend this channel to your friends and relatives and acquaintances. Right? Let us grow this initiative. It is only through your support that this initiative can grow. And I'm optimistic. I'm not one to be pessimistic. I'm optimistic that this initiative will grow. But it will only grow with your subscriptions. Please click on that subscriber button. It does not cost anything. It is the right thing to do. Have a nice evening.